It's a distinct pleasure. It really is an honor for me to moderate this important roundtable. And if you look on your program, you will see that it has a particular title, but you would also expect us to disrupt that title because of who we are. So it says WDSG, CGDS, IGDS, Reflections on Origins, Growth, and Future Directions. But a date was given there, 1993 to 2013. But you will understand that the work of this panel, all the people here, predate 1993. And as a good historian, I need to historicize the present and also really look into the past to see how far back, how long we have been working or toiling in this vineyard, as one of my colleagues would say. So this date won't work for us, and we will go further back. Now, I know that you have been interacting with each of these panelists over the past few days. I also know that you gave a very full introduction of some of them, in particular Professor Bailey or Honoree. But I still want to introduce each briefly in case there's anyone in here who needs a brief introduction if you haven't been here for the start of the conference. So I want to begin with our honoree. I'm not going to read everything on this fantastic bio. Just to say that Professor Emerita Barbara Bailey, OJ, is the immediate past University Director of the Institute for Gender and Development Studies. Now, she served in that position between 1996 and 2010, and during her tenure was instrumental in guiding the development of the Center for Gender and Development Studies through significant milestones, including its upgrade to institute status with degree granting status. And I know, Barbara, it was a struggle. The development and introduction of an online non-degree certificate or stroke diploma level program, the introduction of an undergraduate major at the Mona campus, and the expansion of the MSc program to include offerings at the MPhil, PhD levels. And I'm sure Barbara was proud to see an MPhil student presenting, from the RCU presenting today. And in fact, Jacqueline has been upgraded to a doctoral candidate, so I know it's the fruit of your work. Professor Bailey completed one term, 2008 to 2012, as an independent expert member of CDAW committee and was re-elected for a second term, which started in February 2013. Professor Bailey is unwavering in her commitment to the achievement of gender equality and continues to serve in these and various other arenas to make this goal a reality. I move on to Peggy Antrobus. She likes to describe herself as a West Indian first and foremost. In 1975, she established the Jamaica Women's Bureau, and in 1978, the Women and Development Unit, or WAND, in the then extramural department. Through WAND, she was a catalyst for the establishment of CAFRA and the Women and Development Studies program, the forerunner of IGDS. She was a founding member of DAWN, Development Alternatives with Women for a New Era, and the network's general coordinator from 1990 to 1996. Her feminist activism evolved through the programs and activities with which she has been involved over the years, working at all levels and in diverse spaces. And she has contributed chapters and articles to many publications. And her book, The Global Women's Movement, Origins, Issues, and Strategies, was published by Z Books in 2004. I move on to Professor Joycelin Massiah, and we know she's a true Caribbean citizen because her life's path transcends Caribbean boundaries, having been born in Guyana, studied and worked for several years in Jamaica, and now residing as a citizen of Barbados. As a renowned Caribbean academic, scholar, and intellectual, she has, through her scholarly research, contributed significantly to shaping the agenda on women and development in the region and the movement for promoting women's rights. Professor Massiah is well known for her seminal research project on women in the Caribbean, which was inspired by a recognition of the dearth of data on women in the region needed to inform development initiatives. and needed, of course, if we were going to go on to use content to help in your theorizing. Her work in this area has had a profound impact on the establishment of a frame of reference for analyzing and comprehending the issues related to women, their status, and the development in the region. And as we progress, you will learn more about her and her work from her own, in her own words, which is always better. Professor Leo-Rhynie, I turn to Professor Leo-Rhynie now. During Professor Leo-Rhynie's, Elsa Leo-Rhynie's career in education at the University of the West Indies, she was appointed lecturer and senior lecturer in educational psychology at the School of Education between 1977 and 87. She also served as executive director of the Institute of Management and Production between 1987 and 1992. Professor Leo-Rhynie was appointed the regional coordinator of the Center for Gender and Development Studies in 1992 and remained in this post until 1996. She is recognized as the first female to become both deputy principal and principal of the UWI. In undergraduate studies, in 2002, Professor Leo-Rhynie became Pro-Vice Chancellor and the Chair of the Board of Undergraduate Studies, and she was named Professor Emerita by the UWI following her retirement in 2007. Throughout her career, Professor Leo-Rhynie has exhibited a strong commitment to public service in the field of education and has carried out extensive research in education, gender issues, and training. And finally, Professor Rhoda Reddock, and because this is your campus, I thought you wouldn't mind waiting for the last to be introduced, because you're the host. Rhoda Reddock is Professor of Gender, Social Change, and Development, and the Deputy Principal of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus, and former head of the Center for Gender and Development Studies. As a graduate student, she prepared the concept paper on the Introduction to a Program of Women's Studies at the University of the West Indies, which was presented at the March 1982 meeting called by Peggy Antrobus of the Women and Development Unit, or WAND, you have heard me talk about that, and Joycelin Massiah of the Institute for Social and Economic Research, which established a roadmap for the introduction of a formal program of teaching and research at the UWI. She was representative of the Institute of Social Studies in The Hague, which partnered with the UWI in the development and institutionalization of the program, and an active member of the Women and Development Studies group, the forerunner of the program, which lobbied and worked actively for the establishment of the program in September 1983. Prof. Reddock served as head of the IGDS St. Augustine for 14 years. So I would like to invite you to welcome this group of women who have been so fundamental to the IGDS and its forerunners. So you either now know or you have just been reminded about the work and interests of our panelists. From here on, we operate as a family on first-name basis, and as a historian, as I said, my inclination is to go back a little to understand the work that has been done so that we could be here today. And this is an interactive session, so I'll pose a few questions to the panelists. They will respond, but don't worry, we will open the